Hello and welcome to another episode of Tropic Botany. Today we are in this little stream that is a part of the watershed to the Little Miami. This is in Loveland, Ohio, and we're going to be looking at three types of disturbance today. The first one being flooding. This is a pond, a little bit of water that's been left by a flood, and this flood has deposited this berm that I'm standing on right here. It's a bit of sediment and rock that will eventually have seeds set in it. We'll start growing plants, as you see there. Just a little bit of knotweed, and then eventually join this great mass here. But with flooding can come biodiversity, as with most types of disturbance. Now there's other ways that disturbance is caused, and that can be by the felling of trees, whether natural or by human intervention. Felled trees create great big open spaces in the canopy, which allow in a lot of sunlight. This one, as well as its trees over there, have opened up this giant hole in the canopy, and that allows for a lot more species to establish. Right here we have another one of those lobelia that is benefiting from the shade, or from the sun, from this canopy gap. Now right here we also have human disturbance, and this looks to be an old bridge that spanned from there all the way to here. And now we get some interesting plants coming up. Some being from probably old foot traffic and being tracked in here. But here is some copper leaf. And obviously we have some euonymus establishing, and different other species that might not be here otherwise if humans hadn't put this here. But what I'm more interested in is this gap in the canopy that has caused all of this agrautina to pop up, as well as some of this Verbesina. This is Verbesina alternifolia. It's in the aster family, Asteraceae, also known as Wingstem. But there's a great big mass of this right here. All because there's a gap in the canopy. And this stuff loves light, as most asters do. Now right next to it also we have the American Hog-peanut. Right here. Kind of looks like kudzu. You know why? Because they're both in the bean family, Verbesina. This wonderful plant is known as Amphicarpaea bracteata. It's got silvery undersides and hairy little stems, as you can see there. And it has developed quite the colony here because of that sunlight. Now many other species are here, some not flowering, some flowering, but all of this would not be here if the canopy was still closed. Many of these plants actually were already here, just in the form of seed. They were not here in their above ground state, but a while ago, probably when there used to be a gap 100 years ago, these plants grew and then they left their seed, and then eventually that tree filled the gap, and this tree and that tree, all creating a very shaded environment like you see here. And that seed sat dormant, as most seeds do. Seeds can last up to 100 years. We've got evidence of olives from Jesus' time found, and they were then sprouted and grew, and now they're growing trees that are like 2,000 years old from seed that survived for 2 millennia. Now, since we are in a wetter environment, the seed doesn't last as long, but it can still last for some time. And this wingstem is probably from that time. seeds just sat dormant in the soil until they had the opportunity and they saw sunlight, and they decided to pop up and become these beautiful flowers. So anyways, telling you about a little bit about disturbance and what that can do to biodiversity. And it actually creates different microclimates. Like, we walked into a completely different looking area where it's all different stuff like privet, we got honeysuckle, we got euonymus. Those are all invasives. Look at that tree stump. It's been a while since I've seen one of those. This one looks like, well, it's cut down, obviously. You can see its top has been cut off, but it looks to be concretus metallicarpa, I believe. Yeah. What a rare one. But we do have some species that thrive in these shaded environments, such as ginger. This is wild ginger, Asarum canadense, and it is thriving in shaded conditions. It actually needs wet, deep shade to survive. It would not survive in a canopy opening such as that because all of this wingstem would just grow to massive amounts and shade it out completely and steal its nutrients and all that. It needs its own protected area in the ground to survive. I don't see any of that ginger on the floor here, but I guarantee if we walk a little bit, we will find some where it gets the sunlight it needs and isn't crowded out. As we walk along this trail, you for sure can tell that there is quite the ecosystem created just by a trail cut. If you look deep in there, it's a little sparse, but as you get out here where there's an open area, because we need an open area to walk, it's a lot more lush and green. That's a common example of human disturbance in the forest. Here we are in this area where there's dense shade from the honeysuckle and the sycamores and other plants. We've got a wide spread of Asarum canadense, your American wild ginger. Some over there. Just doesn't have the competition here, and it can thrive. It can thrive well. Now imagine how much there would have been if none of this euonymus was here. I mean, this would have been covering the floor. Absolutely covering it. But right now, it's just hanging on. Just hanging on. That's what we gotta do. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something a little bit about disturbance and plants and all the beauty that can be found in God's creation. Take some time out of your day and go for a walk, look at some plants, sit on a bench and just think, pray, write in a journal, something like that. It always refreshes the soul. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.